move to 4.12, Chancellor's report.
Good evening, Board of Trustees, colleagues. I'd like to exert executive privilege. Usually I have the presidents provide a report, but tonight I really want to have Dr. Drucker, the Deputy Chancellor, to provide a district-wide update on enrollment, and also to include as part of that the modalities and the course cancellations. So with that, I will turn it over to Dr. Drucker.
Thank you, Chancellor. Good evening, trustees. Sasha, if you would pull up the slides. I just have a couple of slides to show you to celebrate our incredible work that's happened in the last few months. Many of the people responsible are in the lobby right now with our chancellor and college presidents, and of course the vice presidents, deans, and department chairs. So Sasha, go ahead, next slide. So first, I just want to show you that here is our class sections per campus. I thought it was important to show you tonight, and I'll go through some of the highlights. One of the issues is you'll see that while it might appear that we actually offered less sections this year compared to last year, we actually had more students in those classes. And so you can see by that head count is increased and our productivity increased as well. In 2021, we had about 11.96 in productivity, whereas compared to this year, we're at 13.32, getting closer and closer to that 17.5 productivity, that golden number that we know helps us with balancing our budget between headcount and or FTES and FTEF. And I also want to point out that that while we had more class sections, we also had more cancellations last year. And so this really does show a streamlined schedule. And like I said, congratulating the department chairs, faculty working in the departments across the campus, because we have really started to right size our schedule. So just pointing out that our total head count from last year was, where am I? Got to take off these glasses. Well, unduplicated head count was 28,000. Our unduplicated head count this year is 29,692. And you can see lower sections, higher productivity, and our total FTEF or FTES, sorry, was closer to over 13,000 compared to 12,000 last year. This is class section modality by campus, and I just thought it was important to show you how we're moving forward. The board's directive was to bring students back on campus. And you can see here, last year we had a total district of face-to-face classes. We only had about 480 sections, whereas this year over 1,000 sections are face-to-face. That's fully face-to-face. Online last year, 3,500 sections compared to 2,600 this year.
Stephanie,
Yes.
do you have that with the hybrid or the online? Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry, Sasha. Yes, okay. Thank you. And so you can see here, less sections online, more face-to-face, but look at the hybrid as well. We really do see that students are wanting to be on campus, but also utilizing the more flexibility that online instruction provides. And so I just really want to celebrate these changes. We are seeing higher success rates. We're going to show you data as we get towards our enrollment academy in April, but this is just an update so you can see that we are really moving in the right direction. Questions?
Does anyone have any questions?
I'd just like to finish up with kind of a summary of some of the accomplishments. I want to, first of all, thank Dr. Drucker and the Institutional Research Office. And I also want to thank the board for staying the course by supporting the administration during this past year as we took on the challenge to take corrective action to address some of the longstanding concerns. And we succeeded by working collaboratively amongst and between our 5 sites, the colleges and the district, and we maintained our resolve, and the results speak for themselves. And let me just kind of go through some of those because I think we tend to forget and take things for granted. Full accreditation. Our next report, our midterm report, is due March 20th, 25. That was a Herculean task to accomplish in less than 18 months. Our last 2 audits, 2021 and 21-22, were the highest that you can attain. They were unmodified audits. Improvements in our overall financial ratings with Standard & Poor and with Moody's for the first time in several years. No additional reports due to the State Chancellor's Office regarding FitMat, and all 70+ recommendations were addressed. That again, that report had been on the books for over 4 years. We have more streamlined scheduling, less duplication amongst the colleges. Thank you, colleges. Thank you, Vice Presidents of Instruction. And we also have less course cancellations because we became more efficient. Because we were more efficient, we didn't have to cancel 5 classes when we should have only offered 3 or 2. And enrollment is up, as Dr. Drucker indicated, 12,497 compared to 13,071. Again, trying to change the trajectory and the delta that we have between what we earn and what we are being funded by for the state. That will go away in 24-25 because SCIF will kick in 100%. So we have to make these changes now. We have to move forward with those, and we have to continue to look and refine our offerings given our budget. So thank you. We wanted to provide that. Presidents, you were off the hook this time, but don't forget, you will be a next time. And happy Thanksgiving, happy Valentine's Day, everyone.
We're not even close to November. So I thank you for articulating, delineating everything that we've been through, especially since we often forget how bad things were. People often forget how bad things were, and where we are now compared to where we were is all because of all the work that you all had done. So at the board, yeah. So here's a question. I love that these numbers are up, and I love that there aren't any course cancellations, because that's always the last thing we want to do. But I think the question that I'm hoping, and I know that you all are thinking about and reflecting on, is what we know that spring college was free, right? And so what we want to ensure is that we can sustain this. We want to ensure that we keep these students. And so fall was free, spring was free. What happened there? Are the numbers the same? Is it always going to be free? We have to kind of ask those questions and then prepare for that. And I know that you all are doing that. So it'll be interesting to hear what some of those reflections are, so that we can control our trajectory a little bit more and not just celebrate when things happen, but kind of find out what we can do to make them intentionally happen as we're celebrating the increases in enrollments.
I'll push my button and try to answer. Trustee Quinlan, did you?
Yes, what FTS are we currently being funded for?
Net 15,524.
Thank you.
Okay. So just to get back to your comment and statement, trustee. We've thought about it. We've discussed it in our executive meeting. So we have executive meeting every other week, and then we have expanded cabinet, which is the vice presidents, all the vice presidents and different staff at the district office. And we've been thinking about what would be the cost if there were no HER funds available to be able to offer this. At one point, we, the district, and I believe College of Alameda is still doing this, offered the Alameda Promise. We funded that through establishing with the foundation funds that we could use for scholarships. We're talking about doing that and expanding that and making it a Peralta Promise, not just a college promise by college. But we've got to figure out the dollars. The other thing is, what if we don't have spring is free, but we have a push because we know a large majority of our population qualify for funding through our grant system, through, other funding and through scholarships. So how are we going to use that? The other component that we've been looking at is involving our CTE and internships. We started discussion with our PLA because remember we got $151 million in our second bond, and we're getting ready to start into that. We've increased our SBLE and we'll be bringing a proposal to the board in March because you asked us to do that so that we can look at making a policy of that. And we're looking at, as we go forward with our PLA, putting some teeth into that because frankly, we say we're going to do it, but we haven't. And that is not because we haven't tried. I think it's sometimes because there's no value added or a perceived no value added by our building and construction unions. So that's the other approach that we're looking at. We've had a dean's kind of summit looking with our CTE because we figure dual enrollment, career pathways is the way that we need to go. And so that's one of the strategies that we're looking at, but we know we can't keep saying it's free if we don't build something in to offer. Why should I come to Peralta? So those are the things that we're looking at right now. I've asked the presidents, we're looking at having a 2-day retreat during a not so good time, which is spring break, because people like to take a vacation during that time, but I'm kind of strong arming them a little bit to at least let's have a 1-day, full day retreat where we focus on that topic. And then the other day, and maybe we can put it off at another time to look at the budget. Because everything we do ties to the budget, whether you want to address it or not, put your head in the sand, but it takes money to run the district. And so we have to look at it also on that side. It has to be balanced. It has to be a balanced approach. Did I miss anything? Presidents? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other questions, colleagues? Okay, thank you very much. Let's go ahead and move to 5.1, public hearing to Sunshine SEIU Local 1021.